you guys think you're being strict though? Because he did tear his ACL before he left. I don't think the Sane that's performed has been anywhere near the level of the Sane before the ACL. Chiesa is another player towards ACL, and yesterday he wasn't. Personally, I'd rather die than give Les that coin. I'm not happy that he joins because he's been having the entire season. He's going to win it. I don't really.
Him knocking it in, and I forget for Germany how bad it was. But how do you guys feel about that? When I first heard it, it was ridiculous. Three podcasters walk into a studio. What do you have?
Debates never die.
Debates never die. Live in person, not live, but in person. And I'm here. I flew in from the US to be here with my mandem.
That's what you came here for.
That's the only reason.
Just D&D.
Just D&D.
That's all you're about.
Yeah.
We're so blessed.
I am your
We're so
host.
blessed.
I am your
Thank you.
host, Malcolm Mashikwa, aka Sheiks, and I am joined by the man who knew Dr. Kumalo when he was just Kumalo. Eh? The football?
The footballing encyclopedia.
There we go.
LLM, happy to be here.
LLM, Kanye Mosetli, thank you for joining us. And our newest member, the guy who used to hit the Drogba slide into every room he walked into. Lesedi Mokwena, the biggest Chelsea supporter I know. How
Charles an Arsenal fan, don't forget it.
You what?
Never that.
Charles an Arsenal fan.
Never that.
Low key, think about it. He looks like an Arsenal man.
Yeah, you do look like an
What does an Arsenal fan look like?
Don't you know though?
Yeah, exactly.
You
like-
fit in with us though.
How you doing, bro? You good?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I mean, new signing, first video recording. Happy.
Wonderful. And
And El Shaarawy's out, so Kanye's down.
2024, you again.
if I were you, so you're better than me. If I were you, I'd be saying you are the reason we're here.
So first things first, technically speaking, as it stands, Kirk Ituna, unfortunately for you guys are not following the D&D Twitter page, and that means that Les is technically one of the winners. Personally, I'd rather die than give Les that coin. I'm not happy that he joins because he's been having the entire season. He's going to win it. I don't really want that. Kirk Ituna, you guys have 48 hours to follow the page. Otherwise, Les does actually take it.
We need to specify because it's 48 hours, but we're recording on Sunday. So is it
It's
48 hours?
from right now, from this moment. Yeah, they were meant to do it in August. That's not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. So you won the Europa League to get into the Champions League.
Yeah, pretty much.
To get into the Champions League. But I do think the money should be reinvested into the pot.
I think so too. Yeah.
Hey. I decide what to do with it.
Now you're lucky because I just decided to drop out of it.
You have to get a deal, brother.
I was
It's
cooking.
okay.
But in any case, gentlemen, we have a great episode today, right? Hopefully, we can make it a monumental one since it's such a big occasion. We're going to start off with the Euros. So the most recent fixtures we've seen, Germany, Denmark is where I want to begin. I think that was an unconvincing win. I think the Germans started off incredibly, and there's just been a decrease in intensity, in performance, in refinement. I think there's a lot of confusion as well with Wirtz versus Sane, because the way the system is set up, it's more so for a Wirtz, but now Sane was there, and he looked a bit confused. Kanya, since your son is playing for Germany up top, what are your thoughts on that 2-0 victory for the Germans?
I said it before on a TikTok a while ago. I think a lot of Leverkusen's players generally overhyped. I think Wirtz is one of those players. He's very talented, that's evident, but I don't think he's someone who's so good he should definitely start for Germany. I think it's just fortunate that Sane looks, I want to say tired. I don't really know exactly what the issue is, but that's not the Sane that played in the first semi-final against Real Madrid. He doesn't look capable right now.
With Sane, I want to hone in on him a little bit. He left City because of the issue with Pep's system and how refined it was.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted to play on the right. Pep wanted to
And play in Germany, of course.
and play in Germany. I guess. Les, how do you feel about Sane? I've had a kind of a 180 on him.
Yeah, I think for me it's a love-hate kind of relationship. I was listening to earlier pods, D&D. I was an avid listener before I hopped on. But I think, Sheiks, you mentioned that the modern winger who can't play both wings is not a winger. I mean, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
The fact that he left City because he wanted to play on a specific flank and couldn't play on the other. I mean, yeah, for me that's a red flag there and there. But I don't think he's kicked on as how we think he should have since he left City. And yeah, man, I think a lot of performances I've seen, I don't watch Bundesliga day in, day out, but in the Champions League, I see Gnabry outplaying him here and there. Koeman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's been quite disappointing since he's left. We all expected him to go on to great heights.
Right.
He's back at home. He can choose
Right.
which flank he wants to play on. you know, they gave him the 10, they gave Nabi the 7. You know, Ribery, Robin reincarnated. It just hasn't played out. So
I think you're being strict though, because he did tear his ACL before he left. I don't think the Sane that's performed has been anywhere near the level of the Sane before the ACL. Chiesa is another player towards ACL, and yesterday he was not.
Okay.
How many wingers do you know who've torn the ACLs and come back and been better?
When did he tear his ACL? 21, 22?
Yeah. No, 1920.
1920?
1920.
No. You should be fine. I'm sorry.
What do you mean you should be fine?
His whole game is pace. A lot of his game is pace. ACL will chow your pace.
Understandable. Right. My point, though, is, and we spoke about this with Cazorla when he got injured, where I said he's not done, right? And with every injury in sports, right, whether it's KD, Klay Thompson, first year back, you're shit. Trying to figure it out. As you're saying, your game is predicated on this. Your body needs to adjust. Year after, I'm sorry, right? But we'll give him that. 3 years after, because it's now 3 years, there's no excuse. And what makes it look worse is there's another injury-prone winger there, Gnabry, who maybe it's not an ACL, but it's 15 other things. He still performs.
He hasn't been picked for Germany, and there's a reason for that.
Racism.
So what's Sane?
He called Mane a monkey.
I'm not doing this with you.
He called Mane a monkey.
I'm not doing this conjecture with you.
Anyways, going back to the actual fixture at hand. Something I want to talk about is our godfather Wenger. He's spoken avidly on how he believes we need to change the refereeing decisions surrounding offside. We saw 2 disallowed goals because of marginal offsides in that fixture. I felt bad for the Danish because that goal, the celebration, I forget, was it on
Anderson?
Anderson?
Joachim Anderson.
Yeah, yes. And the celebration, he's at Palace, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. The celebration was, you could see the tide was changing.
It's changing.
Do you guys feel, so what Wenger has suggested is they changed the rule of offside to be a whole body in front.
Not marginal.
Not marginal.
Yeah.
Both of those Anderson was a foot and prior to him knocking it in, and I forget for Germany how bad it was. But how do you guys feel about that? When I first heard it, it was ridiculous. Personally, just to speak, I've always felt VAR is necessary in football. And as victims of Man United,
we needed something.
We need something.
Some kind of control.
Manage. Right.
Yeah.
But Les, when you have moments like that, how do you feel about it?
I think the offside rule in and of itself is a great rule. You don't want an attacker to have an unfair advantage.
Right.
But then it gets the nitty-gritty. What is an unfair advantage? I think those 2 examples from yesterday's game just show you that, like, dude, Joachim Anderson's toe was offsides. You've seen this in the Prem over the last 2 seasons when VAR's there or whatever. Like, I don't understand how a toe or like a shoulder is an unfair advantage. So, I mean, when Wenger first said that, everyone was like, you wily. Everyone was killing him. And again, I think that's where you see Wenger's like football smarts. He's ahead of the game. He's always been ahead of the game. And I think the striker or the attacker doesn't have that much of an unfair advantage, where a toe in that instance, there's a few other instances. Like, for me, having gone through a few years of VAR in the Premier League, looking at this Euros, I'm all for Wenger's suggestion.
To modify.
Marginal, modify it. Football's all about we're bringing in VAR and technology to modify things. So, I mean, just
Kanya,
adapt and change.
Obviously, you don't have to agree with what Wenger said in the specific solution he gave, but do you think there needs to be a modification? I know you are an old god, man. You were upset when centre backs stopped playing with 4 and 5. You got hacked when you saw Cancelo with a 7. You were tweeting.
Yeah, that was bullshit though. That is something I do still feel very strongly about. Yeah, fuck that. So I have a bigger issue with, and I'm on board with that rule because I feel like we need defenders that are better box defenders. Like the high line defender thing, it's really, really cool, right? It's lovely when Oaks have recovery pace. I want a defender that can actually square his man up and take the ball away from him.
That's a good.
I think defenders being able to move back, being forced to just face their attackers a lot more.
Just high line.
Yeah,
And
like
it's
I'd rather see that.
Box defenders, like a guy who I have the utmost respect for, despite his career being somewhat mediocre, Shawcross. And was it Huth? Robert Huth?
Yeah, Robert Huth.
Oh,
That's a league winner. That's a Premier League winner.
But we don't have a lot of those. You look at these new woke centre backs.
Yeah.
Now they're woke centre backs. They're 5'9",
the Sanders of the world.
The butcher, right?
You
right.
showed me defensive comp. I'm watching him switch. Why? Why? Win tackles.
So in your opinion, you believe that the modifying
Of the offside rule means defenders sit back a bit more. You must just face your attackers.
More variability, more questions.
110%. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't want to see my defenders. I actually hate the idea of a defender that's best attribute is his passing. Pisses me off. There are too many other players. You're not the most creative player. There's no need for that to be the guy.
For that to be what you're doing.
No.
It's funny because a lot of coaches will always speak to how you need to do what you need to maximize your skill set. So I remember I was a player that could dribble, but I wasn't like a 1v1 guy. Like I'm not gonna, so I'd love to dribble, and then they'd be like, dude, give it to the guy that can progress us, right? And I think now this new positionless football has got into that. I look at someone like John Stones. I don't want to make this an England episode. John Stones is a great centre back.
Not a box defender.
He's not a box defender.
Yeah.
And
John Stones relegation battle. You're going down.
Yes, you're done. And it's funny because we're speaking about Gay, and I believe how he's being exposed because of the lack of leadership from John Stones. Like usually you're
that's the senior centre back.
That's
meant
your
to be the
senior
guy.
centre back, and that's a real thing.
Treble, he's meant to be the guy.
As much as we talk about Van Dijk or Van Delegate, as Tabani says, one thing that is incredible about him is what Kwanzaa, his name Kwanzaa,
Jordan Kwanzaa, yeah.
Whole season, and Liverpool didn't look like they skipped a beat, and that's the lead, the ushering in. So John Stones is the new, the new era centre back who can do everything, but isn't incredible at any one thing.
Like defensively
Speaking, of course, and that's a great point you raised. I guess going back to Germany and Denmark holistically, how do you feel about the Germans? Obviously, Havertz, incredible penalty. I was phenomenal. A bit tame in the game at times, had some good chances that first time volley. How do you see the Germans progressing? Do you think there are issues for them to solve or that will prevent them from winning it, or what do you think?
I think it's about utilization of Füllkrug. I think Germany have the same issue that Spain do in that they're probably better than most teams technically, but the biggest problem is about actually finishing your chances. And Havertz, much as I have a lot of time for him, he has the same kind of issues that Morata has, in that like you contribute going forward a lot of the time, but you're not gonna kill the game in the way that you need to.
Okay.
So I feel like that's what's most likely to cost them. If they don't win it, you're gonna look back to missed chances in that game that knocked them out, as opposed to just being disorganized out of sorts. That's the issue is going to be that they didn't take the chances when they had to.
But there was a stage in yesterday's game where they brought on Füllkrug and he played alongside Havertz.
Yeah.
Do you think that's...
So that's what I'm saying. Just utilization of Füllkrug, because you need the guy that is one chance bang. Because Havertz is associated to play is his main thing. So
ironically, sorry, Füllkrug did miss that. I don't know if you saw the one.
Yeah. Look, but my point is utilization. Just to have him around, in and around.
I completely agree. And there's now a thing of also. Les, my question for you. In international football, in every tournament, probably since 1998, the winner of the tournament has one game where they are shit, but they still win. Looking at Germany as the favorites, as the home team, do you think this team has it, given what Kanye said, that they kind of are wasteful, do you think they can win without playing well? Because I think you need that in every tournament. Again, a few examples, Spain 2010, that game against Germany, I don't know if they should have won that semi-final, to be very honest. 2014, Germany won that. Germany had a pretty smooth sailing in that tournament. France as well, 2018. But it's a typical Portugal. The whole tournament was a struggle.
especially in Euros.
Italy, especially Italy. Yeah. So, do you think Germany have what it takes to grind out the result that's inevitably going to be needed to be grinded out soon?
I think they have it in them. I'm worried because they've played the same team, the same starting 11 with a few changes here, almost for the 4 rounds they've had, right? In the third game, they had a chance to rest players. Nagelsmann said, I want continuity. They played the same players. They look really tired. So maybe that could factor in. I mean, Kroos is really old. Rudiger just came back off of Champions League, like a La Liga run. So my thing is maybe the management of the team in that last group stage game could have been a bit better, because you are seeing players, and maybe this snuck into this game against Denmark. You did see a few players look a bit tired, and maybe... So that's my only thing that could kill them, right? Is
they lost the game from the 45th when they came back, the 38th until the 50th. They were
after that lightning break.
Yeah, they were second best. Yeah, so I see what you're saying.
So I think for me that's the biggest thing. As Kanye said, them and Spain probably have the deeper squads off the bench. I mean, if you can bring on Wirtz off the bench or rotate him with Sané, Füllkrug off the bench is like a great option. So the only thing that will kill them for me is that rotation, and Kroos is 38. I mean,
He's not 38.
He's
You tested it. He's definitely not 38.
is he not Modric?
No.
In my head, he's the
He's
same
really.
age as Modric.
No, first of all, Modric isn't 38. He's 39, like just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Juice has been around for so long. It
He's
feels
basically
like
38,
and
you
he's
say.
retiring, so.
Yeah.
But no, okay.
The only thing that would child him, I think, for me is that.
I agree,
Yeah.
and I think that's a great point in them looking sluggish because it's something
Yeah.
that you don't even recognize when you're watching. If you're not actively paying attention, they did lose a ridiculous amount of momentum. I do just want to give a quick shout out to our boy Regans Rindai because at the end of the last season, Bunny posted on our group saying, "Hoyland guys, I think he's going to be all right," and then Rindai responded by saying, "Nah, that's too far. That's too far." And at first, I was fighting back. Right?
No, same.
Yeah,
Same.
because Renai can be ridiculous, but after seeing these Euros, it's looking scary. Because I think when you look at like a football team, there's certain positions where you need to have a presence, right? You need to be able to give the structure to each position, and that's your striker, your centre mid, and your centre backs. And Hoyland looked like a high school. Like he just looked headless. You know, you can look headless on the wings, right, where you're just causing havoc, but it was frightening. So I just want to shout out Rindai there. And in closing, I want to say, Christian Eriksen, sir, I have a lot of respect for him because this tournament showed me that the quality is eternal, and he really almost did a madness. I don't know who's the coach of Norway.
I don't know.
Thor.
First, it's not Norway.
Huh?
It's not
Denmark,
Norway. It's
yeah.
Denmark.
Denmark.
Not Norway.
That's
Yeah, it's Denmark.
crazy. Did
Yeah.
they also have the Thor on them?
I don't know. What kind
so-
of question is this?
So, anyways, he lied playing Denmark because he played like Eriksen as a 10,
Yeah.
floating.
But I think he played Højbjerg and that number 19, Hulman. He plays for Sporting.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
DM, he's good. I think Hulman can move it. He's really good. He scored that bang against England.
Do you think it's not for Chelsea?
Yes.
Probably there.
Sorry.
I don't
Just
know.
ask the question again.
Like he probably would, nah. He would stop for Chelsea at this
Wait,
point.
dog, wait.
Head of Enzo.
Yeah. Sharp.
low key,
To
yeah.
appease you.
Yeah.
Sharp. But he will make a move. He's an FM god.
Yeah.
it's good.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the funniest thing.
No, no.
Anyways, moving swiftly along to the next game. It was Switzerland. The Swiss gave Italy the dismantling of that. I was saying earlier that reminded me of Barca against United in 2011. It was just a complete, like, Italy did not know what to do. They were completely destabilized. The spacing was perfect. I think it was, we said in the previous episode that this Euros, more than any other, there is a reward or a premium on being well coached.
Yeah.
And I think that's because we're not in an era of football where the stars have the aura to go with the talent. So teams don't fear, you know,
The one guy.
The one guy,
Yeah.
right? So the Swiss, I want to give them a shout out because 2-0 in a Euros round of 16,
That comfortably as well.
that comfortably
Defending champs.
defending champs.
I mean, you say defending champs. As much as I want to give Xhaka and the boys as much praise as we possibly can, because huge for them as a country, there's no Locatelli. Spalletti didn't even take him. They're playing Fagioli. They started like that wasn't their best team. Calafiori was suspended. Scalvini tore his ACL before. DeMarco didn't even start. Like the team that actually played yesterday is not Italy's best team. It isn't. Italy aren't that good generally, but I think Switzerland benefited from having every single one of their players available.
So what do you put that down to? Just bad luck or Spalletti doing nonsense?
No, fuck Spalletti. That's where I stand. Fuck Spalletti is kind of hard. I hope that can be bleeped. But like in all seriousness, I don't think that he set up Italy in the best possible way. They went into 0 without Tonali as well. Like that's just not Italy's best side. There's lots of things that are missing. The betting game, yeah, that's still a
But
factor.
my thing is, Fagioli was also in part of that betting game.
No, his things were minor. And actually, I read something. I'm not sure how true it is, but they said Tonali influenced him.
Who?
Tonali influenced Tonali.
Oh,
influenced
influencing
Fagioli. Yeah. But look,
That's Kanye's guy. No? He's got his t-shirt.
yeah,
Oh,
100%. No, I still rep him. But my point is, I don't think that the Italy that we saw at this tournament, if Al-Shaarawy is starting in left wing, that's not a real team. That's not a real team.
Before Al-Shaarawy started.
Yeah, dude, I'm not
Yeah.
letting you.
What do you mean?
So hold on. You believe the missing key was Stefan? Al-Shaarawy would have.
If he wasn't playing,
No, he started.
That's my issue. The issue is that he played.
He did play.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying, oh, okay. My apologies. Okay.
Like in the last years, they had Insigne, granted on his last legs, but Italy haven't they don't have everyone they meant to have at this point in time. Where Switzerland are this well-oiled machine. Everyone, it's cohesive. It's Italy's coach.
So I guess, Les, going to you, do you put that more down to Switzerland being a good team, like performing because they've been well the whole tournament, or is it just kind of pointing out the deficiencies of Italy, like that result?
I think Italy saw a blueprint that Spain put out where they just attacked them directly to the middle. Jorginho looked terrible in that game. That's why he was benched. I think Switzerland kind of exploited that. Xhaka was great through the middle. Remy Freuler was amazing. I don't know how he wasn't getting game time at Nottingham Forest. But I think I put it down to what Kanye had said there. But also, I think international football, when you're a team like Italy, who's based on this solid catenaccio, whatever football, defensive football, you need an outlet. They didn't have an outlet at all. Al Shaarawy's not going to get in behind. He's not quick enough. He's at that age. Chiesa, he's got that injury. Scamacca, I don't know. But I just think even, I'm going to take it to England now, but these teams don't have outlets. And I think sometimes when you're getting picked back, which Switzerland was doing to them, you just need someone who's going to, in behind.
Right, right.
So, yeah,
So who are Italy's outlets though? Like Moise Kean? They've been take him.
I don't think they have. They brought off the bench Zaccagni, who's a guy who wants to dribble, wants ball to feet. They don't have, and I think it might go to a point that you might touch on, Malcolm, that the Italian football's in a weird place right now.
That's where I was going to
go. So I think it boils down to that.
Italian football is actually Chelsea right now. Like if you really deep this, like there's been such chaos, and it's funny because our generation, we don't really know the Italy that our parents knew, right? Because Italy is synonymous with Brazil, synonymous with Germany in terms of prestige. But let's look at it. They win 06.
2010 they get grouped.
Hold on, 08 Euros. They were they didn't qualify, did they?
I don't remember them online.
I have no recollection of them in 08. 2010 group stage clocked. 2012 final, but it's Spain, right?
And they got blitzed in that final.
Absolutely insane. 2014 didn't make the World Cup.
No, they made it. 2018 didn't make it. 2014 Suarez bites Chiellini.
Yeah. Yes. So they were knocked out.
It was 16, 18 they didn't make. 16 Euros, 18.
No, they made 16 Euros. They did under Conte, and they pushed. They pushed.
Russia.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, but look at the ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
Compare that to Germany.
But 2022 they don't make the World Cup again.
Look, compare that to Germany from 06 is what semi-final. Like, you know what I mean? Like the World Cup. So it's like they're in a very odd place where who's carrying the next generation of Italian football?
I have a theory.
Yeah.
It's because they don't leave Italy.
But they've never left Italy. Italians have never left Italy.
I think there's a need for it more now than before. In the same way.
Why do you say?
I think it helps when your footballers are exposed to more than one way, generally. I think England suffer from that the most. That their players are all in the English Premier League. Like I think you do gain a lot from players with different backgrounds who play the game differently, who are more adaptable.
So do you mean it from like an actual logistics perspective? So like how they perform? So you think having players with more backgrounds will allow for a different manifestation of it?
Yeah, because you don't want your players to all be the same kinds of players. I think Spain benefited when they won the World Cup from the fact that they had oaks like David, not the World Cup, but the Euros, that they had oaks like David Silva in the Prem, that they had oaks like Fabregas who had played in England. I feel like you develop and play differently when you have players from lots of different environments.
But don't you think team culture would trump that? Because like I hear what you're saying, and I would say the benefit of a David Silva was his ability to play wide.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's just offering something different.
Do you think at Valencia they're forcing players as a winger?
But he played out wide at Valencia.
Not for that long though.
But what I'm saying is like, I get what you're speaking to, and I think for club football, I completely agree. That's why the Premier League, in my opinion, is the best league in the world.
Yeah, because of foreigners.
Foreigners, right? You have an amalgamation of different players, but in national team football, it's culture that wins, bro. If you saw me like play like provincial, I'd be singing songs, bro. I'd be singing with them. Like, you know what I mean? I don't chop. I'd be singing all of the You have to assimilate. So I hear what you're saying, but I just think if that's the solution, which I think is a good shout, I think it needs to be a thing of more than just one or two. I think you need like half the squad to be England, Germany,
I mean, look,
Italian football is Italian football.
I say it because as much as Serie A is entertaining, there is a serious issue in terms of how they perform in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Like Italian teams
Yeah.
outside of what, the 2023 season when Inter made the final, and obviously like there were 3 Italian teams. That's probably not happening for a while. That was a really fortunate run. Napoli the season afterwards finished 10th. Like I think that there is just a malaise in the league generally where they're kind of recycling the same coaches. They're not really moving forward in the way you'd hope that they do.
Right.
But do you not think there's an emergence of like exciting stuff happening in coaching? Thiago Motta just went to Juve. He did bits with
Bologna.
With Bologna. I mean,
Names.
you've got Xerxes there, Calafiori. There's exciting players there. I mean, De Zerbi came from Sassuolo. I hear you 100%. But do you not think there's some sort of excitement in the league?
Which is why I'm also hesitant to say leave, because it's like, yeah,
And the youngsters are getting chances there. So if you say leave, go away.
I just think players like the fact that we have situations where Scamacca doesn't adapt when he moves to England. I think those kinds of things are like players only playing one way is the issue.
But also there's been for the time I've watched the Prem, like Italians haven't translated well to the Prem. A lot of Italians.
Yeah, who's an Italian hits in the Prem?
Gianfranco Zola is
Jorginho.
the best one.
Yeah, Jorginho's
It's Jorginho and Zola, yeah.
Actually, Jorginho Zola and Di Canio as well.
Balotelli. He was hot. Whoa.
Can we talk about Bar just as a quick sidebar? Oaks, like
Concerta.
No. I'm not speaking to talent because we know what he could do. I was watching his there's like a mini doc on YouTube, a docu-series. Did he do much? Like, you know, like I was just looking at
he was never the main guy. So when you say do much, like what are you really saying?
Bro, we were talking earlier about the greatest youth prospect in history, Jack Wilshere. And you have a moment where you're like, listen, for that 2-month period, he could talk to anyone on it. That's kind of what you have for these what-if players. Pato, right?
Yeah.
Was it like January to April? Unbelievable. When was that period for Balotelli? Because I don't know. Everyone says the
One
Euros.
tournament, yeah.
But it's like,
Euros, 2016
that was
Euros.
3 weeks.
Oh man.
Oh,
It's bad. Balotelli is more talent than any Italian striker in the past 10 years.
But that's a nothing statement.
Look, it's another statement. In his country, he was the guy, and he was in the Prem.
But nah.
No, look,
I
Balotelli's
was gonna quote Jay-Z then, bro.
and say what?
I would say I'm the realest rapper, but it's like saying I'm the tallest midget.
Yeah.
That's not politically correct. Like it's not. You're not saying much to me, huh?
All I'm saying is, with the Oaks that he was around, that was the guy. That was the guiding light, and that's the best Italy have done in any tournament, aside from the one they won, where they won with Immobile. Like,
If he was white, would Balotelli snap the same? I think it's.
what kind of question is that? He was good.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, let's move on.
Look, Balotelli underwhelmed, but I think he was a guy.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
I'm
that's what I said.
Talent-wise,
Yeah.
that's a striker.
Sorry, just to revisit Kanye's chat. Oaks have tried to go overseas. Immobile went to Dortmund, struggled.
Sucked.
Yeah, struggled.
Yeah.
So he's only banned in Italy.
I won't lie. Having played with Italians, shout out to Filippo, Alessio, Manuele, babies.
What do you mean?
They need
What, home?
Italian food. They need their families. It's insane.
Mm.
Like their psyche. Africans, because we come from destabilized environments, we can cook anywhere.
Yeah.
We can go to Belarus.
If they still sell burgers, also fine.
They will see a guy, you just need food,
Just need meat.
meat, and he'll cook.
Yeah.
Italians are very environmental. They're extrinsic in their comforts. So I actually completely forgot Immobile was at Sevilla. I actually forgot about that.
And Dortmund.
Dortmund I knew.
The Dortmund sucked.
So bad.
He sucked at Dortmund.
Okay, so I guess the last thing I wanted, looking at the Swiss again, well-oiled machine, all round, no real standout star player. Shout out Mbolo, I like him.
Only in tournaments, but yeah.
What happened? Yes. What happens now with? Okay, you brought this to my attention, Kanya, right? We know my disdain for Granit Xhaka, and to qualify it, it's not that I don't think he's a good player. I just think he's a fraudulent player in the sense that he was afforded time that people don't get in the Prem. With that being said, I must acknowledge his evolution and growth and the season he's just had.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, we're now in a situation where Granit Xhaka has unbeaten season, the cup,
The cup final.
cup final,
Europa.
Europa Cup final.
Yeah.
and is in the quarterfinals of the Euros. If Switzerland finish third
Yeah.
or fourth, is there a shout for Ballon d'Or nomination for Granit Xhaka?
Top 20.
Top 20.
Easy top 20.
Les, actually, I want your opinion because you lived through. I saw you campaign for Jorginho.
I knew you were going to be
20,
No,
21.
I think Kanye's being kind. The top 10 will probably be a shout. I think.
Oh, top 10, you right?
Yeah, we saw Modric win a Ballon d'Or. He got his team to fine.
Club PR. Club PR.
Again,
I don't think you can be top 10 as just a CM at Leverkusen.
Sure.
Because I've seen Wirtz being positioned higher. And I have thoughts on Wirtz, but that's not it right now, though.
Yeah, I think he's got shouts top 10,
Top
top
10.
15. I mean, he's had an amazing season at Leverkusen. If they had won the Europa League.
Let's play a game of what if. Say he won the Europa League and say he scores the winning goal in the Euro final. Does he have a Ballon d'Or shout?
Top 10.
Get the stats. Unbeaten season.
Yeah.
In everything.
Yeah.
Right? He then goes to the Euros, wins it for his country. If that's any other player, oh my God, if that's any other player, it's the trophy.
I think the footballing world knows.
They know the truth.
Like, in the same way they said Jorginho could do it. Because it was a serious campaign. I don't know how, because it should have been Kante, because that's the reason they wanted, not Jorginho. I think there is just an awareness that, like, at no point in the season itself did you ever think he was a top 5 player. Because that's what I think Ballon d'Or should be. A player that you believed in the course of 12 months was the best performing player. And Xhaka's never been that. So you give him the Euro, it's like, when was he the best player?
Okay.
Like, there's no moment where anyone said best midfielder. No, it's Cruz ahead of him.
Yeah,
He wasn't even playing in the Champions League.
I know you've won. Yeah,
It's impossible.
you won.
You can't win the Ballon d'Or from the Europa League. I don't care what you do with your country. It's impossible.
That makes
No, you can't. You can't, because where were you the year before? We would have seen. The year you'd need to break records, like as an individual. Not as part, because really the thing about Leverkusen, everyone says Xabi Alonso's team.
Yeah, it's not Xhaka.
It's taking away from the players. So
yeah.
they recognize where it comes from.
Like it's a team effort. It's about how cohesive they are.
And now he's in another setup where that's the case.
Yeah.
So I guess now, just in closing on the Euro, we have England, Slovakia, Spain, Georgia. Can we get predictions from you, Les? Do you think? Let's start with the British. Do you think that they're gonna get their shit in order? What do you see happening? Walk us through it.
If Kobe Mainu starts, and Foden went back, right? He had the
He's
burst
back.
of
He's back. He's back. He made it.
I don't think he should start. If they start Gordon, Kobe Mainu.
So give me a starting 11.
Same back four.
Okay. Trippier left back.
Who else? Same back four. Kobe Mainu, Rice, Bellingham, and then Gordon, Saka, Kane.
Okay.
Okay.
Same for you, Kanye? You agree with that starting 11?
Walker can't be starting Oaks. I'm sorry.
Trent instead.
Yes. I'm so sorry. Like, like even the assist he got, Oaks, Walker's regressed. Like, holistically, he's regressed. He's still fast, still a physical presence, but I don't think it makes sense in games against Slovakia to be so concerned about what things are like in transition that you don't play Trent in his actual position. I'm tired of this thing of Oaks thinking that Trent is such a calamity that when you're playing Declan Rice or you're playing Gallagher, as we know Southgate's going to do, you think that you can't afford to try and maximize Trent. If you're playing Trent anywhere else besides right back, you aren't maximizing. There's no point then.
So you don't fear the Slovakians enough?
No, not at all. If England lose there, I think Southgate should be deported.
Okay.
Like sent to Wales. He can't live in England anymore. Yes.
So who does Slovakia have? I'm not even.
Who's up front? Yeah.
I'm not gonna even try and lie.
They've got Lobotka.
Oh yeah, they've got Lobotka.
Yeah.
Up front.
I can't pretend I know who that is.
Yeah, look, we're not
Is Oblak Slovakian?
Slovenian.
Slovenian. Yeah, we're not gonna lie to our listeners. We don't know everything, yeah. We're like you guys. We don't watch Slovakia play.
But again, my prediction, as Kanye said, if England does lose that is.
It's as bad as the Iceland defeat. That
Worse.
Hodgson suffered.
Yeah, I think it's worse.
How so? I knew the Iceland guys. Six in the boys. We knew them. And name another guy.
Judah.
Yeah. Okay, so their last game, they had Strelik.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure.
Strelik up
Yeah.
top with Harassman on the left. Schranz.
Household names.
Household. Duda. What is he playing? What does he play? How do you know? Oh, you just saw his name.
I'm not doing this. England win this game if they played a series of championship players.
Give me your predictions for final score. I know there are a lot of
1-0.
1-0.
Yeah, definitely a clean sheet. England looked good at the back, so I say 2-0.
Okay, I say 0-0 penalty.
But England, though.
England. I think this is going to be the worst game of the tournament, in my opinion.
But England's group was absolute bums.
The worst group of football.
Oh my
God. Unbelievably bad football. It pissed me off. But now going over to the Georgians and the Black Spaniards.
1-0 to Georgia.
You think Spain's going home?
I believe in Kivica Kvaratskhelia more than I believe in myself at this moment in time.
Wow.
No, in all seriousness, though, I think that they'll run Spain tight. I think that's the game that goes to penalties or the extra time, rather. I don't think Spain. We were talking about Germany not being able to finish their chances. As good as Spain were against Italy, they were so wasteful. I genuinely think that this game goes to extra time. I think Krivica and the boys have something.
Les?
I've picked Spain to go all the way to win the chip. I am worried about Georgia. I mean, Kivica is scary. Kivica versus Carvajal. Yeah.
You're playing with them.
I'm a bit worried, but yeah, I've got Spain here 1-0. Yeah, maybe it's blind faith backing them to go all the way. But yeah, I'm scared of for Kivica.
I agree. I think Spain are well positioned in my opinion. I know they're wasteful, but I think I don't see Spain tripping and falling against a smaller side. I think obviously Georgia have that guy that has the Zimbabwean name.
Mr. Kavasi?
Yeah, Mukadzi.
No, that's definitely not how you say it.
That's my Shona brother. I
Yeah.
call him Mukadzi. Yeah, he's looked like a hitman, which is the biggest danger for a team like Spain.
Yeah.
He's top goal scorer, right?
Yeah, top goal scorer. So I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think you know what, maybe think of Spain like taking the lead, getting comfortable, Georgia coming back, Spain constantly having to one up. I think it'll be one of those.
You say that Georgia has the best performing keeper at the tournament right now.
What's his name?
Mamadashvili.
Yeah. Valencia, ne?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy is African.
Linked.
Okay, what's his name? Oh,
Mamadashvili.
Yeah.
okay.
In all seriousness, I really do think Georgia have something here. I don't think this is a simple game for Spain.
I think it's high scoring. I can see like a 4-3, 4-2 type situation. I really do think Spain are going to have periods of uncertainty, but I just don't see them tripping and falling. Like Les is saying, maybe not all the way to get the chip, but I think it'll be a big team that can finish their dinner that makes Spain regret miss chances.
Who is that team?
I don't know the brackets. I know England is free, so Spain have Germany and the guys.
Yeah.
Portugal.
Yeah, one of those boys will sort them out.
Okay.
Ronaldo has a zoo for those boys.
Are you
midfield 3 though?
For
Rodri, Fabian Ruiz.
phenomenal.
Also, we talk about my
Like,
misses.
off the bench.
What about my hits? Fabian Ruiz, best performing mid for the tournament. Nothing.
Okay,
No depths. No depths for
wait,
me.
wait. Okay, let's slow down.
Okay, stop.
Let's slow down. You're a good guy. I'm not joking around.
I don't hear from you.
So wait, when you say your hits, help us. How did you qualify? What's the?
I highlighted him as one of the most underrated midfielders in Europe when he was at Napoli. He's moved to PSG for 25 He's at the Euros now against all the guys in Europe. That's the best performing midfielder there is at the tournament.
Last season you were a bit worried,
Why?
don't I?
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Last season you were a bit shaky.
Look. Anyone who goes to France, it can get crazy. I don't know what happens there. There's 5 teams I can watch really. You know, there was room for nerves. But honestly, I think Fabian Ruiz is the most underrated midfielder and has been for years.
Okay.
For years. No. You said you want to take my hand.
Anyways, that's closing the Euros. Let's look over now to Copa America. So obviously Regan's Vinny's manager scored the brace.
Yeah.
Big win for Brazil over Paraguay. Not because it's Paraguay, but because nothing comes easy at the Copa America, and they really needed a high-scoring game.
Also the way they won.
Right, convincing. Yeah. I want to reference something Ronaldo Nazario said about how he watches tennis now.
More than football.
He loves tennis more than football.
And he plays a lot.
And this is coming after Ronaldinho, said that thing about how much pressure is on Vinny not only to win, but to play a certain type of way. I wish I had Rendai here to just cape for him. But, Kanya, where do you land on Vinny Jr.? Because I look at him very weirdly, where I do think he's one of the best players in the world, probably top 2, top 3. But similarly to how I was saying Jordi Alba's a top 5 left back because there are no real left backs, I think the underdeveloped landscape of football greatly benefits.
You're saying there are no left wingers, really?
There are left wingers that are good, but I don't think Vinny has refined his game to the point where he's performing at the level that his superstardom demands. Even that his stats demand, because statistically we know he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I want to say this, listeners, I'm not crazy. I know what he did in Champions League, right? I'm not insane, but they're just games.
scuffed shot.
Yeah, like they're just things that just confuse me. So how do you feel about not only the win, but moving forward? How much pressure is on Vinny to win the Brazilian way?
I think there's tons, right? And there's tons of pressure on every Brazilian player, right? They're meant to be the guys at every single tournament. Doesn't even matter how strong the squad is. As we've seen, Neymar was lambasted for being the best player when he had no help for so many different tournaments. But the idea is that if you're Brazilian, if you represent the Selecao, you have to be like, you can't not be a superstar, right? You're playing for Real Madrid as well. You're playing in these big European leagues. Like, how do you not deliver? I think for me, we're just in a weird place, at least when it comes to like things like Copa America, because I don't think that there's a belief that Brazil are the Brazil of old, right?
Yes.
I think what Ronaldo pointed out highlights that the most, right? There's not this overwhelming belief that truly we're going to win every single time. I think Argentina have more of that, even though I don't think on paper they're better than Brazil.
Does that come back to Vinny though?
Him not being that good.
Yeah.
I mean, he just hasn't done it for Brazil yet, but I think he hasn't been the guy until now. This is this is Vinny's tournament.
Right.
At the World Cup, it wasn't him. That was still Neymar's tournament. That was Neymar's team.
You don't think shared responsibility?
Not really, no.
Whose tournament was 2002?
No, but that's the thing. They were other guys.
There were other guys with Neymar.
Not really.
He just won the Champions League. Vinny just won the Champions League.
He had just won it, but I still don't think he wasn't at Neymar's level.
Ronaldinho wasn't at Ronaldo's levels in 2002. He wasn't. 2002 was still the PSG Ronaldinho. And he is the reason they got through against England.
He was still a super talent, though.
So is Vinny. Okay, that's
okay.
my point, though.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, you ready? I think what I have to say then is controversial.
Say it. The debate's never...
I think Vinny is an outlet. He's an amazing outlet.
Yeah.
He's a dope outlet.
Yeah.
But he's nowhere near as creative as like the top left wing. And he's an amazing goal scorer. He's an amazing dribbler. But like, Vinny's not as creative as like Hazard was.
Not at all, yeah.
He's not in that tier. He's not where Ribéry was creatively. As an outlet, different conversation because he's fast. He's incisive. But
Vinny is more aligned with Salah than any other winger that's ever played football, in my opinion.
he just aesthetically just looks a lot better, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Les, going to you because you're more of a pragmatic football fan, right? So obviously it's nice to play well, but winning is winning. Right? How do you put any emphasis on the Brazilian way? Now I know Brazilians will feel differently. So do you think if Vinny delivers this Copa America, mind you, it's Brazil's second Copa America in like 20 years.
So what's delivering? Winning.
Winning, okay. Right? Will you look at him and say, "Oh, but you didn't do a rainbow flick"? And will you care, or are you just like, get the chip, get it done?
I mean, I think the Brazilians would care.
For sure.
Yeah. Me, not so much. I think winning a Copa America, La Liga, and the Champions League.
Incredible season.
Ballon d'Or is his. I think he's the front runner currently.
Yeah.
That's undoubtedly. But I think, if he wins the chip, I personally don't care how they play. I mean, I'm not looking at, we were speaking about who's playing. I'm not looking at Savio, Martinelli. I'm not looking at these guys to play, the old Jogo Benito way.
Just win.
Yeah, just win. I think, and especially coming off what Messi's doing with Argentina, just win. Just win. Beat this Argentinian side. Like, develop a culture of winning. That team is very young. That Brazilian team, like extremely young.
I think Bruno Guimaraes is like
one of the oldest players.
Yeah. Marquinhos, him, and Militao, they're like between.
Exactly.
Well, Marquinhos is 30, but the other two are
the
26,
keepers
28
years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anderson and Edison. Okay, they're like
But
4
other
5.
than that,
It's
like
kids.
you've got a really young team. They right back. Jan Couto, he's extremely young. Savinho, all these guys.
Juan Cucho, is he at Fiorentina?
No.
He's at Girona.
Yeah.
Girona.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other short guy at Fiorentina, Dodo.
Fiorentina.
Yes.
Yes.
But for me, I think if Vinny can get over this hump and win, and show he can win nationally with his country, I think then
And winning
he's
young.
got that hump off his back.
Right. Winning young is so big.
He looks forward to the World Cup coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, moving away from Brazil, I want to just touch on the North American countries, right? Because it's being hosted by the US, obviously. So the US are in a shit situation.
Thank God.
Yeah. Please don't deport me, but yeah. And that is they shat the bed against Panama. For just a quick recap of the game, they took the lead and had a goal disallowed. It was a bit messy. Game changed when Timothy Weah got a red card.
Yeah.
Still don't know what the red card was for. I think he swore the ref or something. Not exactly sure. Momentum changed. The Panamanians became more confident, and they fought back in the game. 1-1, 2-1 last few minutes. Bolligan scored an incredible goal. That's a player. That's a phenomenal player. But all of
wait, sorry. Phenomenal. Is
phenomenal.
he better than Ketia? Like,
Yes,
truly?
definitively.
So, have you, like his struggles at Monaco, I haven't watched Liga and I haven't watched Monaco.
Right.
What are those down to?
I think it's an
bangs.
I think it's an immiscibility between what he. So, Bolligan kind of needs a team that progresses play in each phase, each third, kind of like how Arsenal typically play. He's not a guy who struggles with his back to goal. He's not a guy who struggles getting in behind. But I think when he's able to dictate the movements of the team as opposed to the team being kind of, because when you play on the break, as Monaco do at times, you're freestyling.
Yeah.
You're problem solving on the fly. I think Bolligan needs a ball dominant team.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why, or a team that is more intentional in possession. Because I think at Lens he was getting that. I look at him at the USA, where I think the USA is being underutilized or being managed incorrectly. I know right now, I forget the name of their manager, but the whole country's up in arms because he's wasting their golden generation.
Is that not the guy who was beefing with Reina? And Reina's dad.
I think it's Coach left.
Reina. Oh, he left.
I think he left.
Okay.
Yes, it is that guy.
Is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Behalta. Is it Behalta?
Brad Berhalter, something like that.
Let me actually
Yeah.
Google that.
Yeah, they got that right, Oaks.
Encyclopedia. Yes,
But it's a thing of it is.
Oh,
It's
come
very-
on. Yeah.
Shout out. Actually, no, not shout out to Greg. We don't like him, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, so I still think he's being underutilized in his the team. Right, I think they're better on the break. Bolligan, however, is feeding off scraps because even though they are a possession-based team, they're not very direct or intentional. It's very methodical and slow, stagnant. But he can feed off the scraps. In any case, they're in a shit situation now where they need to beat Uruguay to go through. And
So they're not going through.
Uruguay have been performing extremely well.
Yeah.
Quickly to touch on the Canadians, they massively made it through their group.
Actually, sorry. Speaking of Canadians, Balogun or Jonathan David?
You have to say Jonathan David
Oh, why?
because he's done too much for too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dogs,
How many seasons in the
this
league?
too much that you refer to. He's linked to your guys. That's why I asked this question.
You know
I,
my feelings about Jonathan David.
and you still think he's that guy. You think that makes sense for you guys.
I want to see him outside.
He's not better than Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
So you're going to buy him to play him where? As a sub?
Backup. We don't have a backup striker.
Is he better than Broja?
Broja's leaving. But I think, I definitely think. Kind of, his goal record cannot be denied. That's it.
That's the thing. Yeah. At some
And
point, you
I
have to
think Sheik was saying, sometimes his finishes of it.
Okay, so
scruffy,
we
but
were
he
speaking
finishes.
we were speaking about a player that couldn't move to different leagues, right, and perform in Immobile. I don't think, and his goal record can be denied because we know his limitations. I think Jonathan David is as limited a footballer as Immobile.
No, I refute that on
Like he's more technically gifted, but I don't think he can move to a team, move to different
He's
leagues.
black and fast. He can cook in any league. Tell me black and fast is not the most lethal combination in European football.
I'm really excited for the hits and misses episode where we come back to this after Jonathan David fails to score more than 15 goals.
Perfect.
But
Okay.
his agent has been shipping him every single window.
And no one and,
3 windows.
and why do you think no one
Price
wants him?
tag. Anyways, let's move away from your black hate and just quickly touch on Argentina. Your boy,
Lautaro Martinez.
Lautaro Martinez, 3 games, 3 match winners.
Oh.
He's in incredible form.
Mhm.
I think Argentina, as I said, are probably going to take this all the way.
Yeah.
Do you guys share that sentiment, or who is you guys have winning the Copa?
Uruguay.
Uruguay,
Yeah.
I think Argentina, but my,
dark horse,
bet Colombia.
Colombia.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, James has been phenomenal. In any case, that's our episode. We have to call it
Where it is.
at this point and where it is. To our listeners, thank you for this journey, for being with us up until this point. Again, it's a new era of D&D, and we will catch you on the next one. As always,
Keep debating.
keep debating. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nice.